the biggest difficulty when you're the team that a team like LA is following after having such a kind of big, lopsided, embarrassing loss that you have to deal with maybe that emotional side from them tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think as far as your preparation process that you get too focused on those things. You know, in this league, you know, it could be a loss, it could be an emotional, close game, it could be a huge win, it could be a last-second shot. There's always something that tips the scales emotionally, and it's hard to predict. So I think more than anything, what you try to control what you can as far as, but so that's not something for me to think about.
Coach, sorry, by LeBron's standards, he's obviously in a bit of a shooting slump from three right now.
I'm sorry, what?
LeBron, by his standards, he's in a bit of a slump shooting the three ball right now. What are you going to do to ensure that he doesn't get any clean looks tonight? And you know, I mean, he's going to break out.
The idea of LeBron, us talking about LeBron in a slump, to me, is just in and of itself is I would never think about that, frankly. And he's proven over so many years what he's capable of doing. So, you know, you just do what you can to make sure, to the extent that you can contest the shots and try to make it as hard on him as you can. And you know, sometimes you cross your fingers. So.
After the New Orleans game, Trey mentioned that he thought that you all got some good looks out of him working as a screener.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, like, if he's out there screening for Jalen, what can they learn from each other as they kind of flip-flop roles and try to figure out what to do when he's, you know, 4-1 pick and rolls and things like that?
Yeah, those, you know, Trey enjoys that. You know, there's a game within the game for him with that, and he's got a great feel for it. So that's something we've tried to do, both in pick and roll and even off the ball as well. Getting him in situations where, you know, we're using some of, you know, his gravity to create shots for other people. And like I said, he's something that he's embraced. I think as far as the execution goes, like anything, you know, you think about how many times Trey's had the ball running pick and roll with Jalen, and now it's inverted. It's just, those things take some time, and you know how other guys space and where those shots are coming off that. You know, anytime you're doing something, we did it some last year. We did it actually when Trey was out, more with Jalen and with Bogey. So it's not something that Jalen's not familiar with, but usually when he's handling it, it's maybe 4 or 5 pick and roll or in the open floor. So some of it is his ability to make reads, and even if there's not something available immediately for him or for Trey, you know, trying to get an advantage and involving other guys as well.
I know you're always trying to improve as a team, but what's impressed you the most during this current 5-game streak of your team?
I just think we're playing like a team. You know, as it's a little bit, you know, circular. We wins and losses, you know, generally are reflective to a degree. I've never been. I'd rather be on a 5-game win streak than a 5-game losing streak. But in either case, I think the important thing for our group, you know, if there are things we're doing well that are giving us positive results, let's keep doing them. Let's try to do them more. And if we're not getting those results, hopefully there's things we can do to improve and try to get better. And I think for this group, that just has to stay in the front of our minds all the time. You know, how can we get better? How can we get better? And you know, to the extent there's affirmation on some of that, if you win, that's great.
Coach, how do you keep the team just focused, just to avoid complacency as the win streak possibly expands?
Yeah, I hope that's not a problem for us. If we had a, you know, in general, whether it's 1 game or 3 games or a loss, or I think principally your focus always has to be on the moment and what you're doing. And as you said, sometimes that's easier than other times, but that the message doesn't change from, you know, for me. I think there's externalities that are probably different at various times. We talk about it, you know, because there is something to talk about, but in a perfect world, that's not in play. Okay? All right.